Let's talk about the deeper psychological triggers, the deeper emotional aspects that causes a man to fall deeply in love. Not just infatuated, not just attracted to you, but the kind of love that says, I got to tell everybody I know about this woman because I'm so in love with her. We're going to take a look at 7 deeper needs that a man has that he wants more than sex in a relationship that help him deeply fall in love and ultimately choose you as a partner. And the first one is emotional safety. Often men were taught to be strong, to be silent, to be stoic. It's rare when we feel like we can actually share what's really going on in our internal space. With our friends, it's often everything's got to be going well and we're just talking and it's surface level and it's sports and it's this and that. But there's this need that men have to really be seen, to really express, to really share what's going on. And most men don't have those kinds of friendships in their life. So when a woman like you creates space where he can actually share what's real for him, it is so unique and rare and refreshing. It's like this breath of fresh air. It's like oxygen for the first time. Emotional safety means that he can tell you that he's scared about losing his job without feeling emasculated or judged in that moment. It means he can share that sometimes he feels like a failure. Like sometimes he doesn't feel like he's enough, and you don't flinch. You lean in, you create a safe space for him just to be seen in those moments. It means that he can say that he doesn't have it all figured out. And your response is, me neither. And that's okay. These moments build a kind of intimacy that no physical connection alone can touch. Real love is built on vulnerability. Brene Brown has this great quote where she says, vulnerability is the birthplace of connection. One of the things that I love about my wife is how she champions me when I'm feeling wobbly, when I'm feeling insecure. And a couple of years ago, when I was writing my book, and I was right in the middle of it, and it's that messy middle, and I'm like, nobody's gonna like this, and I'm confused and I'm lost. And my wife knew that I needed a pep talk. And so she gave me a hug and she's like, you got this, babe, and you're amazing. And then that night she decides to give me another pep talk, and we're laying in bed, and she was like, babe, I just want you to know what a champion you are. Out of the 200,000 sperm, you were the first one to reach the egg. And I start laughing. I'm like, wait, are you being serious right now? And she was like, she starts laughing and she's like, well, I was trying to be serious. I'm trying to be super motivational for you and whatnot. And I was like, just the fact that you thought that, just the fact that you thought to say, I won this race, 200,000 sperm, and I'm the champion. And it made me laugh so hard. And I was like, honey, I love that about you. But I know that I can be wobbly, I can be filled with fear, and she's gonna have my back because she sees the best in me when I'm feeling shaky and seeing it in myself. The second thing that men crave, even more than sex, is respect. You can have respect without love, but you cannot have real love without respect. It is the foundation of every great relationship. When we interviewed America's Greatest Marriages and we traveled around the country, 12,000 miles, the number one thing that all these couples talked about that was fuel for their connection, fuel for their love, was that they had respect for respect. In other words, they had a deep, profound reverence for the importance of maintaining what they call the respect line. And what is that respect line? That respect line is, even though you know your partner better than anybody else, even though you know your partner's fears and insecurities better than everyone else, especially if you're showing vulnerability with one another, is you never weaponize that knowledge. You never turn that into hitting below the belt. For example, if your partner's feeling wobbly about losing their job, and then maybe a couple days later you guys are in a fight, you don't fling it in their face when you say, see, it's this kind of attitude is probably the reason you're going to lose your job, and so on and so forth. That's hitting below the belt. That's weaponizing the vulnerability, and that is a massive form of disrespect. Another form of disrespect is criticism. Criticizing the other person for being a certain way, name calling them for being a certain way, pushing their buttons. All of those are forms of disrespect. So holding the respect line means even when you're in an argument, even when you're frustrated with them, there's still this level of respect and importance that you're holding for the other person because they are your partner. And we as human beings need respect to have a deeply committed relationship that's going to go the distance. The third need that a man has in a relationship, deep need, is admiration. The man falls for the woman who makes him feel a better version of himself, makes him feel like a hero in that relationship. So when you admire him, it taps into his deep biological need to provide, to protect, and to ultimately be appreciated. Admiration is not just romantic. It's actually the antidote to the loss of respect. So if there's a part of you that feels like you've lost respect for him in certain ways, maybe he's not doing what he said he was going to do, or maybe he has lost his job, he's been out of work for a while. And when you actually consciously find things to admire about him, it can help bolster up and ignite greater respect in the relationship. It might sound something like this: I love how thoughtful you are with my family. Or I love the way you handled that meeting. It was seriously impressive, right? That's not flattery. It's insight paired with appreciation. When you admire who he is, it naturally elevates how he sees you as well. Admiration is a reflection of the spiritual law of praise. What we praise actually expands. And so tell him what you admire about him, not just what he does. You can say things like, I admire how calm you stay under pressure. That is just gold. I admire how you show up for your friends. I love how you're always curious. You're always asking questions. These kinds of moments tell him, I see you. I respect who you are. I'm proud to be with you. And no, this does not mean clapping every time he takes out the trash like he's just won an Olympic gold medal, unless he's doing it in slow motion and there's theme music playing, and then that deserves an ovation. But just saying things like, babe, that really meant a lot to me, that alone is going to make him feel like he did win something. A little babe, you crushed it goes a long way in a relationship. The fourth thing a man needs in a relationship is acceptance, because one of our greatest fears is not being enough. When he senses that you accept him, flaws and all, it creates massive emotional glue for this relationship. Acceptance is bigger than just accepting the flaws. Now, here's the catch. It is very difficult to give something to somebody else that we aren't giving to ourselves, or we don't have within ourselves to give. In order to give real acceptance in this partnership, it actually begins by being willing to accept ourselves. It begins by being willing to love the parts of us that feel unlovable. It begins with the willingness to saying, I'm going to hold the soft space for myself when I make a mistake, or the part of our brain that wants to criticize ourselves for not being perfect, to generate a practice of self-acceptance. So if you would love a great resource for this, I've got a beautiful free resource. It's a meditation and affirmation set called the Self-Love Activation Kit. And so I'm going to post a link where you can grab it. It's free. It's a gift from me to you. And so to help us with this, how we begin having greater self-love is it's important that we repattern self-talk. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, that was so stupid, or I'm such an idiot, nothing works out for me, instead, say, I love and accept myself completely, even when I make mistakes. I'm here to grow, I'm here to evolve, and this is exactly what it looks like as I become who I am really meant to be. And then on a daily basis, you can ask yourself, what in me needs my love and acceptance right now? Practice softening your heart. Practice sending a beam of love to yourself, even when you've made a mistake, or even when part of you feels self-critical, and you will feel the muscle of self-love begin to increase, your ability to hold space for yourself increase over time. The fifth thing that men deeply need to fall in love in a relationship is partnership. And this is the deep feeling, the knowing that you are going to be by his side and you cannot be rattled. When life hits, when the struggle occurs, when something doesn't go right, you're the person who can stand strong with him. The two of you looking at life together saying, we can conquer this. And you've got belief in him and he's got that belief in you. But the second thing in partnership is that he knows that you're not just going to bail for someone who's better looking, or for someone who makes more money, or someone who's the better option. Like there's this feeling of buy-in to what the two of you have, and that what the two of you have is super special. When there's this feeling like what you guys have cannot be recreated, it cannot be found anywhere else, there's this glue that happens in this relationship, and he can feel it from you. He's contributing to it himself. And what can happen in a relationship, if one person is feeling too insecure, what they'll do is they'll test the relationship. Does this person really love me? Is this person really committed to me? And one of the ways that they will test The relationship is by trying to make the other person jealous, flirting with somebody else, talking about how great somebody else looks, intentionally trying to trigger insecurity in the other person when really it's themselves that's feeling the insecurity. That creates an instability in the relationship. What helps a man's love go really deep is this feeling that she is his partner. Like we are in this together and there's no wobble. And akin to partnership, the sixth thing that a man needs in a relationship is fun and playfulness, because the partner that we have is our best friend. When we can have the person that we're romantically attracted to, physically attracted to, become our best friend, that is amazing. That is just so rare and so rich and so real. Being able to take adventures together, being able to hike together, to play together, to paddleboard together, snowboard together, whatever the favorite activities, go to movies together. All of that is so fun. And can you be playful? Or are things always serious? Laughter bonds us. Adventures bond us. In fact, there was a great book written by Stuart Brown called Play. And in this book, he discovered that play is not just for children, it's for adults. We all need play. Play is essential for adult emotional connection, adult bonding. And in his research, he actually shared a story about a high-powered CEO. This couple, both of them were CEOs, and they were struggling in their marriage. And when he asked about their early relationship, they recalled all these spontaneous road trips. They recalled dancing in the kitchen, silly voices they used to crack each other up. And so to help their relationship, they started doing therapy together. And their therapist didn't prescribe conflict resolution. Instead, he told them to go play. He told them to bring back the weekly fun, and it ignited their emotional intimacy. Why? Because play reminds us that we're safe, that we're connected, and that we're free to be who we are. Joy is one of the highest frequency energies there is. And so relationships that are rooted in joy, that have joy infused in them, create a powerful connection. Number 7, what men need to fall deeply in love is a shared purpose, a shared vision. Do you guys share the same values? Are you building the same thing in life? So much of masculine energy is about creation, about building something, and to be partnered with you, to be a best friend with you, to be emotionally safe with you, to have all of these things, and then to co-create a life that the two of you love is so powerful. Whether that shared vision is we're going to start a family together. You either both want to work, or one of you wants to stay home and be the stay-at-home parent, the other one wants to work. Whatever that shared vision is for the two of you to be aligned. Maybe you want to travel the world together, see countries you've never seen, have experiences you've never had. Maybe you want to own a business together. Maybe you guys want to volunteer together, make a difference in people's lives. Whatever the vision is that the two of you have, that shared vision becomes a foundation for lasting connection. It tells him we're not just having fun, we're actually building something real for the future. And the truth is, as human beings, we all want to grow. It's innate in us to want to expand, to want to create. And when we find a partner that we feel that we can grow with, and we can create something beautiful together, building the closeness of the relationship becomes bigger than just the two of you. And that is super compelling. So as you're dating and you're exploring, talk about the dreams that you have. Talk about the dreams that he has, where you see yourself 5 years from now. Because that not only points you in the direction of, yeah, this is a partner I want to build with, but actually bonds you when you have the same vision. So yes, sex is important. Sex is awesome. But if you really want the relationship to go to the deepest levels, focus on these 7 things, and he will be thanking the universe that he met you. My question for you is, what are the things that you feel like you really need to go really deep in a relationship, to really fall in love? Post that in the comment section below. I love checking that out. Here's to you and your amazing love life. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.